Westerly and our ranch, built back in 1949, which is no longer a ranch. You can see that we have added a second floor and turned it into a Dutch colonial with the gambrel roof and dormers coming out of each side. Now, there's been a lot of progress made. We are weather tight, and most of the windows are in, including the exterior trim, which means we are getting very close to putting the siding up. And just as much progress going on inside. Right here is our front entrance. We moved the door just a little bit from the left to the right. We made a little bit of a bigger opening, and then come on inside. All of this space down here on the first floor was original. Adam, how are you? If you come down here to the back of the house, you can see that we've made some changes, but it's going to be a laundry room, maybe a guest bedroom, and a little study. But the big changes, well, they are all right up here. There is the old entryway, and we've got a new mudroom that's going right in there. Hey, Richard, how are you?
How are you?
So this is now wide open space. Working kitchen in that corner, dining room right there, and then down here, hello fellas. Down here we've got a big open family room, and look at all of the glass that is going to be going out to the backyard. As I said, this is original space, but upstairs it's all new. The second floor adds about 1,000 square feet of new space for 3 bedrooms, 2 in the back for the kids and 1 here for the parents. Wayne, how are you? There'll be a master bath back there, bedroom here. You can see the shape of the gambrel roof, and then this is one of the 2 dormers that go through it. Big opening for glass and windows with a distant water view. Now, the first job for today is to replace these temporary stairs with a new staircase, and that's being prefabricated at Jeff's shop. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Kevin. How are you?
Kevin.
Prefabricated staircase. Boy, she's looking beautiful.
Yeah, so this is the first flight up to the landing down at the Westerly house. And you can see we have open treads here. There's 5 of these. And then where Tommy is right there, that's where a wall is. So this will lay right up against that wall. So later we'll put balusters in and a section of rail that'll die up into that wall.
Right.
So it's basically just a poplar skirt that we cut on that side, a poplar skirt on this side, and we back this up with a piece of 5/8 plywood, which acts as a stop for our drywall. So the drywall will come right down to it.
And then big, thick oak treads. That's oak?
Yep, 5/4 white oak treads.
Yeah, this is a stringerless stairway if you look at it.
Yeah, so I'm looking right through the middle. I mean, this is at least 4 feet wide. I would figure
Yeah.
there'd be 3, maybe 4 stringers in this thing.
Well, normally you'd see like a stringer, which could be a 2x10 or a 2x12, cut like a sawtooth.
Yeah.
And that would carry the weight of the stair treads and the risers, and they'd be 12 to 16 inches apart. But because of the design of this stairway, you don't need the structure in between it.
So what is the design that sort of says we don't need that?
Well, the structure is, first of all, where Jeff is, this is a wall. So this gets nailed against the wall here. On the outside part here, this is this board right here, this is skirt board, is mitered in. It's thick, it's beveled and mitered into this corner with glue. And this riser right here is actually plywood. So it runs straight across, and that's going to carry the weight of the stringers and the stairs in the middle. No stringers.
So the skirt board is not just decorative in this case.
It's structural,
Right.
along with everything else. So there's a cleat that's plywood that's glued and nailed to the skirt board that goes against the wall. So that's nice and strong. And the same thing on the back side out here. Now this 1-inch board, as Jeff said, is going to slide in here, and it's going to get back screwed from back here. So you're not going to see any of the fasteners, and Jeff's going to screw them in on the end there also. Underneath, once the stair tread goes in, this backer board goes in, and it gets fastened to the back side of the riser, and then gets screwed up to hold the tread down. Drop it in tight. A little more. There we go. Tight against this riser. There you go, your first piece of interior trim, and it looks pretty good.
We'll cover it up with cardboard until we get to the finish.
Yeah, you want to protect those
it.
babies.
All right, thanks for your help, guys.
Okay. We are in New Canaan, Connecticut at our Idea House, and this is an 1840s Greek revival. And if you look closely, you can see that in its day, this house was probably magnificent. It's got all that classic Greek revival styling with the tall pilasters on the corners, the triangular pediments. But unfortunately, over the years, this house went through several different iterations. At one point, it was turned into a local tea house, and for the past 7 years or so, the only occupants of this home was a family of raccoons. It was almost demolished by neglect. But fortunately, a local builder did not want to see this house go away, so he picked it up and he's renovating it, turning it into a single-family home. And for us, because it's an Idea House, well, we get to play with it. We get to use different materials and ideas. And Gordon, how are you?
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
All right, so you're going to help us out today. We're talking a different kind of siding. Typically, we would have been putting clapboards back on this, most likely cedar, but
Correct.
that's not what we're working with today.
No, we're working with a new product here, which we like working with, easy to handle.
So let's take a look at it, because I saw you just bring some up. There are some long lengths that you just dropped here. Are those 16-footers?
Yeah, very easy to handle, very light.
What are we working with here?
So this is an engineered timber strand wood.
Oh yeah, look at that. So small strands of lumber that are pulled back together with adhesives.
Adhesives, there's water-resistant waxes.
Primed already on the front. Is this a primer coat?
That's a primer coat, yep.
Why not primed on the back?
Well, because of the water-resistant, and let me show you, waxes, pour a little water on, you see it just beads right up and rolls right off.
Well, it sure does, doesn't it? Okay,
Yep.
so we wouldn't need to prime it back there.
Do not need to prime the backside.
All right. What else do you like about it?
It's light, one person can do it. It's very durable, it stands up to some impact. It just cuts just like regular wood.
Okay.
No special blades.
Okay. Well, let's talk about installation.
Sure.
Which wall are we going to work on here?
We're gonna work over in this corner here. Just gonna grab my story pole, do some layout.
That always helps with layout, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Hold that for you right there.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it off here. I'm gonna make some marks here.
And these refer to our exposure that
Yeah.
you've already set.
4.5 inch exposure, which we set and went around the house. And I'll move over to here. We'll get a little mark there. There. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is we'll measure. So what I have tight in between is 26.25 inches. We need to, on butt ends, leave about a 3/16 expansion gap on each side. I will go in and cut a couple pieces at 25 7/8. And now that we cut this, we need to spray an oil-based primer to protect all these butt ends. Okay, so now we'll go out and we'll put these pieces of siding up. So Kevin, what we have here is we have our starter course to get the same bump out profile as we build up. So what I do is we have a 3/8 start that we put underneath the start to get the spacing. Then we take our first piece of siding. It sits right on that 3/8. Then I take my spacer.
And look at that. That's a spacer that the manufacturer gives you?
Correct. 1, 2, 3.
Cool. All right. Let's keep
So then
going.
we grab our second. We lined it up with our little marks down there.
You said 3/16 on these butt ends right here?
Yes.
Why? That's bigger than I'm used to seeing.
Well, this product comes to us very low moisture content. What happens over time, this material is going to expand and should close up these joints.
So that gap is expected to go away over time.
Correct. That will close up. So here's our next course. We'll line it up on our marks. I'm good here.
I'm good here.
I got my spacing here.
Yep.
And 1, 2, 3.
Nice. So the entire house is going to be collapsed, which means it's all going to be this material?
Correct.
All right. Well, Gordon, if you'll have us back, we'd love to come back with some more good ideas.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Take care.
In 1885, the very first riveted steel furnace was built. It didn't utilize electricity, it burned coal. and air went by gravity up through a jungle of ductwork. It was nicknamed the Octopus. Our project will have 2 furnaces, but no tentacles. It'll utilize modern materials and state-of-the-art controls. We're here at a factory in Indianapolis to see just how those furnaces are made. Jenny Jenkins, you are the plant manager here at this amazing facility.
I am. We make 1.1 million furnaces a year in this amazing facility. It all starts at this end of the building. We have 52 different presses.
Look at these monsters.
We make over 90% of the parts that go into our furnace in this building.
So the key component in any furnace is the heat exchanger, right? You know, that's the part where the gas gets burned and then the heat gets extracted out to become usable inside the building. And that takes some engineering.
It does take some engineering. This is our primary heat exchanger for our high efficiency furnace. The flame and the gas come through here. The heat begins, the air comes across, and it blows the heat out into the house.
The air in the house goes across here and the exchange happens.
That is
And we have a
correct.
series of these, right? You have one of these for as many as we need for the size of the furnace.
That is correct.
So I can see our heat exchangers up here on the conveyor belt.
That's right. The operator is going to pull the primary cell off and start building the number of cells that he needs for the correct size of furnace.
So that's a 5.
That's a 5
section.
cell.
Okay.
That's right.
So then it gets assembled together.
It does. By the time we get here, everything's been crimped together. We've added the insulation. We've got the front plate on. But in order to get to that 98% efficient furnace, you have to add the secondary. This is a fin and tube stainless steel secondary. It will go into the marriage station, and you'll take the primary and the secondary, and they'll get married together. Then there's one final piece to put on to create the super sub. That's the inducer housing.
So that's where the blower and the burner will mount right onto here to send heat right through.
Yes. So our heat exchanger's all been assembled. Now we just need a place to put it.
To make it a casing for the furnace itself.
That's right. A furnace has to have a very efficient blower in order to move that air through the furnace and out to the air ducts. The blower motor is really smart. It can change its speed based on the needs of the home. We make these here.
So it's all coming together here.
At this point, the blower assembly is in. The operator's dropping in the primary and the secondary heat exchanger, and then on it goes.
Keeps on moving down the line.
Here we're hooking up the wire harnesses.
Yeah.
The inducer is assembled. Now she's placing in the gas valve attached to the manifold.
Okay, so I can see gas valve going in for the burner. This is the inducer to make the air go in with the burner. Here's your wiring harness.
We're now ready for the brains of the furnace.
That's the control system. That's pretty a smart unit.
It is. It controls everything in the furnace. It controls the modulating burner.
Yeah.
It controls the variable speed motor.
But it actually goes a step further, right? It also controls the condenser outside, so it makes that modulate just right. And I heard it also works with the zone damper.
That's right. This room is our run test. So in this room, we hook up the electric, we run gas through it, we test the unit completely. No unit leaves this factory without going through this test.
I love hearing that. Well, it looks like we've made it to the end of the line. Are these
Yes,
similar to the
we
units
have.
we're going to get?
Yes, they are.
Well, thank you so much for a fabulous tour.
Oh, you're very welcome.
It looks like our furnace has made the 900-mile trek from Indianapolis here to Rhode Island, and Mike Gamache and his crew is helping us with the HVAC here. Right on the pads, perfect. All right, what's next?
Guy's gonna hang the drain pan underneath.
All right, so what about ductwork layout?
Okay, so we're gonna run the ductwork up high and right down off to the side. We got a supply running down this way. We got a return running down this way.
That leaves a little bit of space for the homeowners.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct. And then we're gonna start off with a square around right off the
Yeah.
cooling coil. And then we have a canvas connection,
That's
which
great.
is gonna stop the vibration.
That's like a
into the
shock
duct.
absorber for vibration.
Absolutely, so
I
we're
love
not
seeing-
bringing it down.
I love seeing that. And here's a big damper. Now, Now that's pretty good right here. And this
Correct.
is that really smart damper that talks to the furnace and the cooling coil.
Correct.
All right. And you're running rigid pipe.
Yes. Instead of the regular warm air pipe, we like to use the rigid pipe, the spiral pipe. Keeps the integrity of the pipe. It doesn't kind of make it like a tin can.
That's
so-
right. All right, looks like our register choice is here. So,
Yep, we got our return grill.
yeah,
All right. And then we have our supply diffuser, which is directional blow.
perfect. Well, I said it before, you cannot get this air conditioning installed too soon.
Quickly.
Thousands of miles away from the Westerly house is the location of our next project. We're showing you a preview of that today because this week is the one-year anniversary of the event that brought that town to our attention. Paradise, California, a quiet town of 27,000 people. On November 8th, 2018, folks woke up to another dry, hot day in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Got the kids ready. Oh, we're running late, so it was a little chaos. Let's go, let's go. Making lunches, get dressed, get ready, let's go. They got ready.
One of the foremen had heard that there was a fire in the Feather River Canyon. Normal fire, didn't think nothing of it.
I take my son to school, and he looks up at the sky and he says, "Mom, there's a big cloud of smoke." And I said, "Yeah, that happens all the time." And he goes, "I don't think I should go to school today." Like, you are fine. I am taking you to school. That's way over there.
So I called Crystal. She said, yeah, I think it's fine. I got Trenton. We're down in Durham. Everything's cool.
I walked outside, and as I walk outside to walk to my truck that's in the back, the sky right there was like orange. And I was like, wow, that's a weird sunset. You know, sunrise, whatever. And I'm thinking, as I get in the truck and I'm driving away, I'm like, oh, we don't have those colors in the morning.
What they were experiencing were the early minutes of the worst wildfire in California history.
Holy cow.
With wind gusts approaching hurricane strength, the fire raced from canyon to canyon. Local authorities started a chaotic attempt to evacuate.
And traffic is not moving. It should not take me 3 hours to get off a half-a-mile long road. And I just wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure if we were going to be making it out.
Thousands of cars choke small county lanes.
I thought that I was going to have to figure out if I had to run, where am I going to go? Like, how are we going to make it so that I don't burn to death trying to escape?
It's like a war zone.
While residents were fighting to leave Paradise, first responders were heading towards the flames. What they saw was shocking. Fire engineer Colleen Ladovin, on the second day of his vacation, rushed back to the fire station.
It was apocalyptic. I didn't know if the rest of the world was ending, but this world that involved Paradise was ending at that time. The entire day, first day, I just constantly told myself a lot of people are going to get hurt. We were expecting 1,500 to 2,000 people to die.
I'm going to call my husband just to let him know that I tried. I will try everything to make sure we get out, but if we don't, I'm sorry. I tried. Don't be mad at me. I love you.
By mid-afternoon, most residents of Paradise had made it to safety. 85 didn't make it out. The death toll, while staggering, was much lower than expected.
It's a miracle, it's amazing, it's whatever you want to call it, that many people didn't die.
What didn't survive were the buildings and infrastructure. The fire destroyed 14,000 houses, and 23,000 people were instantly homeless. The question for everyone in Paradise: should we rebuild?
Basically, as soon as I knew that it was gone, I knew I was rebuilding.
How did you know that?
Because I want to come back.
The town is still my home. It's where I want to live. Being in surrounding areas has never been my goal, and unless we pack, unless we truly just leave the state, Paradise is where I want to live.
I never had a second thought. I mean, it's hometown. I mean, if we can help rebuild it, then it's that much more satisfying to know that we were part of helping this town come back.
Very good, thank you. Up for giving me a tour?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Things are replaceable. You can rebuild a house. So that's what we're doing.
What started as small signs on the side of the road turned into an army of people determined to rebuild. Trucks from across the country invaded these narrow roads to haul away debris. And this old house has come to town to follow the